it's that time again, story time. I hope everybody's ready for bed, all bathed, almost tucked in, because I figure you're all piled in one bed, listening to the story. This story that I'm reading to you tonight it's in this book, Six by SEUSS. It's a Dr. Seuss story. So if you're ever at the house and you want to get the book and read the story yourself, it's in here. This story is called Gertrude McFUZZ. Here is Miss Gertrude. She's got this sweet little one-tail feather. And here's somebody else that's got two. The story is about, you gotta be who God made you to be. You can be the best of that, but He made you exactly like you needed to be. Don't worry about how someone else is, okay? And so this is the story of Gertrude McFUZZ. There once was this girl bird named Gertrude McFUZZ, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather. That's all Gertrude had. And oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew. It was a fancy young birdie named Lola Loo. And instead of one tail feather behind her, she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lola Loo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one. She has two. I must have a tail like Lola Loo." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake. Here's her uncle, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a berry that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor. "Such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of bird." Then Gertrude, she had tantrums. She raised such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a berry, on a berry vine on the top of a hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFUZZ, and she flew right to the hill where that special berry grew. Yes, there was the vine. And as soon as she saw it, she picked off a berry and she started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful. It almost made her sick. But she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked around and she cheered. It was true! 2 feathers! Exactly like Lola Loo. Then she got an idea. "I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than old Miss Lola Loo. Those berries that grow feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one right off that vine. She felt a new twitch, and Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lola has only 2, and I have 3. When Lola Loo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. But you know what? Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." She snatched at those berries that grew on the vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFUZZ, until she'd eaten 3 dozen. And that's all there was. That's 36. Then the feathers popped out with a zang and a zing. They blossomed like feathers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen. What a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds, like gumdrops and gold, like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, and like lace. Wow, they burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished with the breeze, and some of them were as long as the branches of trees. And they still kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is fly right straight home and show Lola Loo. And when Lola sees these, why, her face will get red, and she'll let out a scream, and she'll fall right down dead. And then Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground. But with all those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk, but that bird couldn't fly. She couldn't run, couldn't walk. All those tail feathers are heavy. And all through the night, she was stuck up on that hill. And Gertrude McFUZZ might be stuck up there still if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard the girl yelp. He rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks. Look at all the help he had to have. Tied all those ropes. It almost broke all their beaks. And to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. Oh my, Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter. But now that's enough. Because Gertrude is smarter. She was born with exactly what she was supposed to have. We can be the best we can be. But we don't have to worry about what someone else has, does, or is. We are supposed to be us because I'm going to tell you, each one of you, there is only one. One of you, you, and you. You're made perfect. Jenny loves you. I want you to get a good night's sleep. And I wonder what story you'll listen to next. Remember, this was Gertrude McFUZZ. Jenny loves you. Good night.